identify myself as a modern-day French Impressionist oil painter. I'm now a resident of California as of 7 months ago. Just moved recently from Washington State, where we were for about 25 years. So I've been painting as a professional, full-time, seriously, for the past 13 years. I used to be a pediatrician, actually, in Los Angeles at Children's Hospital. And after having children and all the family things came into play, as an empty nester, instead of returning to medicine, because I had taken an absence, I decided to go for art. It just kept popping up in my head. So actually tried to ask a very balanced, logical lawyer friend of mine to talk me out of it. And instead, she dragged me to an art class. So it's her fault. So I think when you change professions like this, you go 500%, because no one understood what I was doing. So that was part of why I went full-time, completely 500% for it. Went to study with 6 of the top painters in the United States. A couple were local, the others I got on a plane to study with. So I had looked at MFAs, but I have an MD. I thought, I don't need an MFA. And I had done a lot of research. I'm pretty analytical, and my teaching to this day in art reflects a lot of that analytical approach to analyzing masterworks and teaching it. But back a step, so had analyzed where a lot of the best teaching was taking place, and I found it's you follow wherever the masters go. So I picked 6, went and studied with them, realized that there was an intersection of commonality between what they're all teaching, but of course they all have their individual sort of paint manipulation, brushstroke, color harmony type of thing, but core 80% was the same. So I thought, take some time, just take off 3 or 4 months and analyze what I knew was a gift that these top artists had given me and try to understand what they had told me. And so that was sort of the beginning of my courses. It was actually my own study and putting all the information together. In medicine, there's this saying, see one, do one, teach one. And I very much believe in that. And that's part of why I became a teacher. The second part is Ned Mueller's fault. He's one of the people that I studied with, and he just said, you have to teach. And I said, I don't know how to paint. He said, trust me, you have to teach. So that's also part of why I was encouraged to start teaching. And then the third part is when I went full time, there's obviously the financial part of having your space. And the third part of that leg is my husband saying, oh, sure, we'll support we're all behind you. You've got 4 months to figure it out. So teaching, paying the rent, sharing it, all of those things, I went hard for it. And so that's pretty much the start of my particular story. And the French Impressionist part comes from the fact that I grew up in the south of France. My mother gets credit for that. From 9 to 18, I lived and went to school in France, literally picnicking in what is now the Renoir Museum. That was just a picnic place, and I climbed all the trees, and we ran crazy on what's now the museum, and many other locations like that the French Impressionists literally painted it. So that's the link, that's the draw, and I'm revisiting my childhood. So that's a large part of my obsessive focus on key French Impressionists. For years, as an adult, I went back every year, especially as a painter, to gather reference material that would last me all year. Many people feel, oh, she must go over there and stand in the fields and paint. You know, we all have different superpowers. I have a really good visual memory. So instead of doing maybe 3 or 4 small, quick paintings a day, I take photos obsessively. If I've been there and have it in my brain, I usually can make a pretty nice painting from it. I teach a lot online. It feels like seeing friends every week. I put a lot of effort into creating masterclasses. I would say it's like writing a term paper every week. So it's a lot, but I do a lot of research. I think people come back and now expect that level of presentation. So I'm stuck. I have to sort of keep churning out something new. Early on in the pandemic, I quickly, started churning out what is now Paint Like a French Impressionist, the course. And I literally was maybe 5 hours ahead of each presentation. I was all like up early morning doing that. That was actually that 80% that I learned from the masters. I put it into short video format that doesn't waste anybody's time, just the bare minimum. That's sort of how I'm built. Analytical, no nonsense, please. And let's just get right at it. And people responded because, for example, if you're going to mix color, there's thousands of color books. But come on, there's maybe one major way to get the colors. That's what I teach. It's like we cut through all of it, and then I'll support people if they need extra time, unpaid. I will help you learn to mix colors. Everyone's got to do that, and we retire that. So the French part comes in a lot. At the end of every Zoom class, I literally was like, oh, wow, and everyone else says, oh, wow, sort of like John Boy, on the wall. So there's that. B, all my subjects are somewhat French, and then I'm kind of obsessed with the same, for Impressionists and Post-Impressionists. So analyze a lot of their work, and then also will sometimes integrate it with some of my travel photos and sharing that. I've also taken people overseas as well. So very integrated, very focused. I'm using MGram. So from day one, I thought, A, it's affordably priced. B, it's incredibly rich. 3, I love that all of the colors have the same consistency. And then since I'm about the limited palette, you don't need huge amounts of them. So early on, I loved those paints, recommended them to all my clients. They're on my list from day one, and would refer, so many students to this one local store in Washington State that happened at that time to also be one that was frequented by one of the MGram past promotion managers. I didn't know that that's what he was, but I'll never forget, he walked up to me and said, you're like mid-career now. You should not be paying for your paint. You need to look into the ambassador program. I had no idea what he was talking about, but it sounded good to me. So that's how I came to be it. I had referred so many people to MGram volume-wise, and he knew it because he was talking to that store, and he said, let's look into having you as an ambassador. So that's how that started. Of course, I've experimented with some of the others, but I keep coming back, and the vast majority of my paintings are MGram oil paints. I like the fact that if I open a tube and put it out on the palette, the consistency is what I expect. That's not the case with a lot of other ones. Some I have to mash and get them prepared. That's fine for some people's wiring. I'm not wired that way. I needed to perform out of the tube, and MGram gives me that. It's a reliable consistency, and so that's huge. Even next to all the historic, brands and everything, from a practical standpoint, MGram just does it for me. This is such an honor. I love and am very proud ambassador for MGram oil paints. Again, as I mentioned, I've always believed in them, so it's a very natural fit, and I feel very fortunate. So thank you for that. www.valeriecollymore.com is always a good way to find out what's going on or to contact us directly.